Hey, grade diggers. I didn't know it was going to be 3 parts, but it is. Get ready. Part 3 soundtracks. I'm Mequilla Sunrise, and this is Vinyl Jeopardy. Let's get to something a little more fun. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is another iconic type of film that everybody remembers. It's fun. It's got Susan Sarandon and Tim Curry in it, and it has all kinds of craziness going on. It is a horror movie, but it is also a comedy, and it is really funny. The music on here also funny, all spoof types of music, but you know all of the songs. Let's Do the Time Warp Again, Touch a Touch a Touch of Me. All of those iconic songs are on here from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I probably should have taken the sleeve off, but I actually think I've shown you this one before. Rocky Horror Picture Show. And along those lines, also in the horror category, I guess, let me take this one off, is Carrie. This music on here is the soundtrack music, the background music. So, oh, here we go with John Travolta. This is like my third John Travolta. Maybe I have a thing for John Travolta and I didn't even know it. Anyway, this is the third John Travolta movie soundtrack that I have. But anyway, John Travolta was in this movie with Sissy Spacek, and the music on here, there are some vocals on here, but they're not memorable. So it's mostly classical type of music, you know, very thriller type of music. Okay, let me get this back in here. Why bother? Let me move on to the next one, which is, if you do not have this record in your collection, then you should. I was gonna call you a name, but forget about that. Forget about the insults. If you do not have this in your collection, Shaft. I'm talking about Shaft. Ooh, Shaft. This album is good through and through. Now, I am an Isaac Hayes fan, but besides that, this is just a good, funky album. It has lots of horns, deep bass. Shaft, the theme song is a great song. Shaft's Revenge is the name of it? No, Shaft Strikes Again is the name of the other song on here. Ellie's Love, Early Sunday Morning, Be Yourself. This is a great album. And it has on here on the gatefold, it has some advertisements for some of Isaac Hayes' other albums, and then it has pictures in here from the recording session. And on the back, there is a picture of Isaac Hayes there with Gordon Parks, and I believe that is the author of the it doesn't really say, but I'm pretty sure that's the author of the book Shaft, and his name is Ernest Tidyman. Okay, I'm being a 7th grader now. Tidyman, Ernest Tidyman. Richard Roundtree stars in this movie, and it was his breakout, and he really did the thing. He was a superhero. There was a remake made of it with Samuel L. Jackson. Does not compare at all to the original Shaft. by Isaac Hayes. Next up, Isaac Hayes again, but this time this is Truck Turner, and Isaac Hayes stars in this movie, and I've seen it. I know I saw it in college because I was a film major, and one of the things that I used to do is watch every blaxploitation film that I could. And in this movie, he is either a policeman or a bounty hunter, and he goes and breaks up either it was a drug ring or a prostitution ring. I can't remember. But pretty much that's the story of almost all the blaxploitation movies. But this one, that's what it was. Here on the gatefold is a picture here of Isaac Hayes with his cannon in the movie. And the music on here is jazzy and instrumental. It's more jazzy and more instrumental than Shaft, but it's still great, funky music that you would expect to hear from Isaac Hayes. I really like this album. Not as much as Shaft, obviously, but I still did like it. Now, next, Sparkle. This is Aretha Franklin, and I love this album as well, and I love the movie. I remember going to see this movie, and it wasn't played in a lot of theaters in San Francisco, and I just remember taking bus after bus after bus to get to see this movie with my teenage babysitter. So I was a little kid. This movie came out in 76, so I was 6 years old. But I do remember going to see the movie. I remember going to see Cooley High too. Anyway, the album. So in the movie, the characters sing the songs in the movie, but on the soundtrack, which is produced by Curtis Mayfield, Aretha Franklin sings all of the same songs. So it's Sparkle. What else is on here? Jump. Loving You Baby, Rock With Me. Give Something He Can Feel. This is a movie that was also remade again with Whitney Houston was in it with Jordan Sparks. So another movie that was remade again. Okay. Flashdance. This movie had Jennifer Beal in it, and wow, at the time in the 80s, let me see, when was this movie made? 83. This movie is about a young woman who works as a construction worker in the daytime and a stage dancer at night. And boy, this was considered very risque at the time. And who would have known that we would get to the point where strippers are common. At the time, this was something that you would hide. Men wouldn't just go to strip clubs. It was something that you had to do on the sly. Anyway, she falls in love with some man who's a businessman or something like that. She also wants to be a professional dancer. And so that's what Flashdance is about. The music on here has a bunch of different artists on here. Flashdance What a Feeling is on here from Irene Cara. Lady, Lady, Lady from Joe Esposito. Manhunt is on here. And Maniac by Michael Cimbello was a hit. And she drove Jennifer Beal, I'm talking about. Is that her name? Yeah, Jennifer Beals with an S. Drove men crazy, and boy were they disappointed when they found out that the person who was dancing in this film was a man. Dude looked like a lady. Anyway, it was a good film at the time. The music, again, is kind of eclectic. It has a lot of different types of music, but it's typical 80s synthesizer type of music. And now, this one. Cornbread Earl and Me. This movie came out in the 70s, and it is... I know I went to see it. I don't remember all of it. I know it's about a basketball player and he gets shot by the police. Seems like we keep getting this movie over and over again. Anyway, he gets shot by the police or killed by the police in some way, and the community comes together regarding it. Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie. This is Lawrence Fishburne when he was a little kid. I have not listened to this yet. The soundtrack, the music is by the Blackbirds, and they are a group out of DC. I love the Blackbirds, so I cannot wait to put the needle on this so that I can hear what it's like. But here are some of the songs: The Gym Fight, Soulful Source, Willard's Gone, and Cornbread. There's a song called Cornbread. I can't wait to hear it because I know that the Blackbirds are a really tight jazz soul fusion kind of band, so I just can't wait to hear it. Last but not least, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I have seen this movie no less than 12 times when I was a kid. It used to come on TV over and over and over again. And so I know I've seen it over and over and over again. But I cannot tell you this very moment what this movie is about. I know it has Peter Frampton in it, and so this is the gatefold. So it has Peter Frampton, and it has the Bee Gees. I know that what's his name? Billy Preston is in this movie. Alice Cooper is in this movie. There's just so many people in this movie. Okay, I'm gonna try to put it together. I think it's something about these people end up in a fantasy land that's like an amusement park or a circus or something, and there's something about a marching band that they're trying to get together. Do y'all remember what this movie is about? If you do, then please put in the comments what this movie is about. As many times as I saw it, I should be able to tell you the whole story verbatim, but I don't know what it was about. I know that Billy Preston, and Earth, Wind, and Fire are in it as well. I also know that it has something to do with the Beatles and the Beatles music. So these songs that are on it are some Beatles songs, and they are sung by Alice Cooper. George Burns. Oh, George Burns is in this movie too. Aerosmith is on here singing Come Together. The Bee Gees are on here a lot. There's a love interest. Let me see. There's a girl in it, and I can't remember who she is. Stargard. Stargard, who sang the song Which Way Is Up from the Richard Pryor movie, Which Way Is Up. They are in here. Let me see, what are they singing? Stargard. They're singing I Want You, She's So Heavy. Oh, and they're also singing Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Sandy Farina. I'm not sure who that is. Is that the girl who's the main? Steve Martin is in this movie. It's a crazy movie. And a very good way for us to end the soundtracks. You might not believe this, but I actually have more soundtracks. I just didn't feel like pulling them out. I did not even know that I was a soundtrack person, but apparently I am. I have a lot of soundtrack vinyl. Do you? Do you like soundtracks? Do you have more soundtracks than I do? If you are a crate digger who has more soundtracks than I do, tell me about it in the comments. And if you are a crate digger, someone who loves talking about vinyl, looking at vinyl, then definitely like, subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell to get notifications if you are a person who is addicted to vinyl. And stay tuned for next time when I will be talking more about the vinyl that I acquire. I'm Mequilla Sunrise, and this is Vinyl Jeopardy.